everyone, it's Jennifer McCollum from Parent Teens, and I am here with my dear friend, Cais Graham, Amazon #1 best-selling author of the Teen Toolbox. Is it backwards?
No, it's the right way.
Hi, Cais. Okay, I met Cais like 2 years ago.
I think, yeah. Yes, it was, wasn't it?
2 years ago. Cais sent me her book and said, what do you think? I thought it was amazing, amazing. Since then, we've met each other. We're thousands of miles apart. We've met each other at an event since then, and we have stayed connected. Now, this book I had to grab from my husband's nightstand because I couldn't find it for a while, but he had it at his nightstand. So I've read it a couple of times. My husband reads it all the time, obviously. And it's such a great book. So hi, Cais.
Hello, my love. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. So Cais is a parenting and teen coach. And the focus really on all your work is talking about anxiety. Is that right? Maybe I should let you take it over.
Yeah, okay. Well, I sort of started off initially. My background is sort of very varied, but I started off training as an NLP practitioner and a master practitioner. And for those of you who don't know, NLP is neuro-linguistic programming, which helps people improve their thinking so they get better results. And so I sort of went down the life coach route, and I was helping mums or women in particular. And I was just helping them sort of get through, I don't know, messy divorce or sickness or lack of confidence or career issues. And what was happening more and more to me, because I have done a huge amount of work with one of our national charities called Childline, which is supporting young people up to the age of 19. But what I was finding from these mums, that they were all sort of saying, listen, I know I need help and I know I've got to sort myself out, but please, I don't know where to start with my teenager. And so it sort of evolved into that. And that's why I'm sort of helping teenagers specifically. I am a mum. I am an empty nester, sob, and my kids are now 25 and 23. So I've been through the mill. I know what it's like. I've been a stay-at-home mum. I've been a working mum. I've had, they've obviously gone through all the toddlers and the tweens and the teens, and they're out the other side. But I do remember how difficult it is. And I think the thing is that even though I'm sort of, older than sort of, I was going to say the average teen, but you know what I mean. I was that teenager who suffered from anxiety, feeling of not good enough, overwhelm, no self-confidence at all. And I can still go back to those days and remember what it's like. So I want to help those teenagers. My view is if we help young people, be it, whatever age, if we can help them before they hit the adult years, they don't have this backpack of emotional baggage. We can sort their rubbish out before it comes deep rooted. And that for me is absolute gold dust. So I support teens. I think teens get a really bad press, actually. And it's all this sort of, well, they're so self-centered and so selfish and all and I actually really cannot handle that, because our teenagers are growing up in a world that is very uncertain. It fluctuates the whole time. The goalposts keep on changing. We struggle to keep up. So how the heck do they do it when their mind's buzzing with hormones as well? So yeah, go teenagers. That's what I say. So that's why I sort of help those guys.
I love that. And it's a great perspective for us parents, because, I've caught myself saying it too. Oh, teenagers, and oh, you're coming up to those teenage years. But it is a really beautiful time. I mean, it's confusing, right? And we need people like you to help us through it, but it's not they're not horrible people. They're not doing all these things on purpose. They're trying to figure out life and themselves. And I love your perspective. So thank you for shedding light on that for us.
I think they just they're coming out of the childhood sort of years, and they don't know where they fit in. They don't know what's expected of them. And we need to be there to support them. And I think with parents, we are so we concentrate so hard on getting it right
Mm-hmm.
that actually we miss all the fun. And yeah, why not? You know, if we fall over and get it wrong and mess up a bit, okay, well, we're learning still. I think we need to sort of just, as long as there's love and compassion in the home, then we can conquer most things. That's what I think anyway.
That is beautiful. So, Kai, because a lot of your work is around anxiety, can you give us some suggestions? You're working with teens that are dealing with anxiety. Can you give us maybe some kind of a little bit of a roadmap for us to how
Yeah.
to navigate through that?
I think the thing is that, and this is one really important thing, is for parents to, many parents might not have anxiety. Oh, it never happened in our day, and you know what's happened here. Maybe that's you know, the bonus is that we're talking about it more, and a lot of parents might not understand what anxiety is and why it, you know, why is suddenly my child sort of going through all this, and what's wrong with them. Just a heads up, it's, you know, there's 50% of mental health issues start by the age of 14. So if you have got a teen, now's the time to start paying attention. Now's the time to start supporting them, even if you don't understand what's going on. But let's sort of start. Let's do the, yeah, as you say, Jennifer, the roadmap of anxiety. The first thing I think is to understand it, to understand that by giving that figure that I've given you, that is, your child is certainly not on their own. This is actually, dare I say it, you know, it is becoming the norm. Mental health, thankfully, we're talking about it now, and therefore we're able to support. But a lot of people might sort of say, right, I've got a technique that will banish anxiety. I've got a technique that will, you know, sort of totally wipe it out. And my view is, whoa, hold your horses here. Anxiety is biology. We need it. It's a sort of, it's the fight or flight sort of mechanism. You know, in the prehistoric, or you know, when there were a caveman knocking around, the fight or flight syndrome was, or situation, was to tell someone, hey buddy, watch out here, there's a saber-toothed tiger behind you. And so that got our body prepared for either going to fight or to leg it. And so what is happening is, anxiety is we are wired for survival, and anxiety is part of that. It is preparing your body to do something about it. The problem is when our brains, you know, all the wiring in our brain, or someone with anxiety, it's got enmeshed, it's got its knickers in a twist, and the wiring is going, oh my gosh, there's a saber-toothed tiger, and actually no, it's not. It might just be a presentation, or it might just be an exam, or it might just be having to make a horrid phone call, or you know, whatever. So what we need to do is understand that anxiety is part of what, you know, part of our sort of biological setup and makeup, that we need it. But if it's been triggered too often, then we need to work out how to get the wiring slightly sort of, you know, untangled again, so that, you know, so anxiety is normal, but if it happens too often, we need to pull that back a bit when it starts impinging on your life or your child's life. So that's sort of what anxiety is. And as I sort of touched on, it's the unconscious mind sort of setting you up for survival. So we don't want to sort of get rid of it. So let's just ask, how does anxiety manifest in, you know, your household, to sort of think about it? Well, you might start noticing that your kids are behaving very differently. It could be things like they've lost their appetite. And this is the slight problem here is working out, is this anxiety or is this normal teenage behavior? Mm-hmm. But this is where we need to communicate with our child. This is where you need to be guided by them. But some of the triggers to watch out for, some of the sort of, you know, the things, the telltale signs really are loss of appetite, interrupted sleep patterns, though screens have a lot to do with that, but that's for another day. And you know, maybe they're isolating themselves. Maybe they're no longer going out. Maybe they don't really want to hang out with their mates as much. Maybe they're not going to parties. Maybe they're trying to miss out on school because they have the social anxiety about the sort of situations, you know, that school might bring. one note to self there, though, is if they've got a math test tomorrow, it's not likely to be that they're just trying to bunk away, you know. So it's knowing your child, it's knowing who they are, and you know what's changing. Maybe they've stopped taking showers. I mean, some kids sort of spend their whole time sort of preening themselves. Others just start losing all that sort of that need and that drive to actually take care of themselves. And it's just acknowledging what their grades could be dropping. They could be, you know, dropping out of soccer practice, whatever it is. It's just sort of saying, hey, hang on a minute, what's changed here? What's going on? And it's just understanding that it maybe not all of these things are red flags, but it's just being aware that, okay, if things are changing and if they're making excuses, then that's something that you need to look out for. One thing I suggest is it really is important to talk with your children, to be able to find out what's going on. You know, and a lot of the time it's, oh no, well they won't, you know, sort of say anything to me. But it's just a matter of offering them the support. And we don't have to use the Spanish Inquisition with them. We don't have to, you know, sort of always, is everything all right? And how are you coping? And I can see, you know, because they don't want to be suffocated. They're trying to be independent. And I think that's part of anxiety, is they're trying really hard to spread their wings. And yet uncertainty sort of is sort of always prevalent. So it's really hard for them to sort of go out into this big wide world where they don't quite understand what the rules are and what's happening. So it's all about talking and all about keeping those lines of communication open for them. But it might be worth just sort of saying, listen, I don't want to interfere here, but when you're feeling anxious or if this happens again, will you let me know, just so I can just be there for you? And you might find that there's a pattern, and it's working out with your child or encouraging them to do it. What is it that triggers this for you? And it could be math tests. It could just be maths simple. They might not like it, or they might just not enjoy, I don't know, art, or, you know, there could be someone in their class that they're sitting next to that really just, they can't handle. It could be, you know, there are so many things. I think the thing is also, I would sort of say to kids, you know, I say to the parents actually, your child's not staying in and isolating themselves because they're necessarily feeling anxious right then. What they're scared about is they're out having a great time at a social gathering or sitting on the number 74 bus or whatever it is, and anxiety is going to hit them just like that. Anxiety can hit you like a curveball, and it just comes from nowhere. And it's suddenly, it's that feeling, and you know, there's so many kids who tell me that it affects them differently, but it could be that feeling of nausea. It could be that feeling that you know, that everything's just all sort of muddled. The back of the legs go, the sweaty palms, hyperventilating, the sweats, whatever it is. This is their body, and I think they don't realize this. And this is why explaining to them that this is how anxiety works is, it is the body being prepared for fight or flight. So, you know, biologically, it's the heart's pumping more to get the blood to the muscles so that you can run from this saber-toothed tiger. But sitting on a number 74 bus is not really the equivalent, you know. And so it's showing our kids that your body's just got its knickers in a twist here, and we can sort that out for you. So it's finding the triggers, it's finding what, you know, how it manifests for them. And just, if you don't have anxiety yourself, you just don't get it sometimes. And just knowing that it is so uncertain that it could be sitting in the middle of an exam room and then out it comes, or it could be sitting in the movies with your mates and anxiety just comes, here I am. And the kids just go, oh my word, it's going to happen again. And everyone's looking at me and I don't know what to do. And I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. And yet rationally, they know that it's sort of a bit stupid and it's a bit lame, but physically and mentally, there's chaos going on. And I think that's the scary thing, because kids like to be part of a tribe. They don't like to stand out. They just want to fly under the radar and be part of the same gang thing, whatever it is. And if they have anxiety and they stand out, they are drawing attention to themselves, in their opinion, in a negative way. And that is more crippling than anything else. It's that sort of feeling of standing out in the wrong way, and that's that is sort of social suicide, and it's hard for them, and it's just, but explaining to them that this too shall pass, and we can get some techniques to support them in that. Let me take a slurp.
Sure. And I think what you do really well, Kai, is that you give them the tools that they need to be able to, first the parents are understanding their child, and the child can, maybe put a name or a face or a feeling to their anxiety. And then I know you and how you help your teens and parents of teens is that you give them really actionable steps and tools that they can use. So what's one thing that, if you are working with a teen or a parent of a teen, what's one thing that you would suggest to them once you've worked with them? What's kind of a quick win for them so they can kind of get a handle on those times when the anxiety is overcoming them?
Right. The thing is that to understand the sciencey bit, just so they know that the reason this is happening is the adrenaline is pumping, and for the adrenaline to fully flood the body, it takes 3 minutes. So what happens is that anyone suffering from anxiety sort of sits there and goes, oh my gosh, this is me for the rest of the day. I've got to stay in case. And actually, if they go, no, hang on a minute, biologically, if we deal with this properly, it's only going to take 3 minutes, then actually that's pretty cool, because it's no longer a whole day or a half day that they've got to put off to anxiety. So biologically, the adrenaline takes 3 minutes to flood the brain, and they have those 3 minutes to go, right, okay, I'm going to get a handle on this. And the best way is to do breathing exercises. Why? Because the rational brain, or the conscious brain, is going, no, stop, you'll be absolutely fine. There's no saber-toothed tiger. Watch, just stop thinking like this because everyone's looking at you. And we know that, but because it's all flooding around and it's chaos, our minds, bodies, and whatever do not respond to that. It's in panic mode, it's in fight or flight. But what it does respond to is breath. And that's the bit of the reptilian brain, which is the primitive, sort of supporting us for survival, doesn't speak language. It speaks about breath and biology. And by breathing and by calming the mind, what then starts happening is that the mind starts settling down and everything starts calming down. So I've got, I'll run through a couple of exercises, but one of them is called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, calm down. And what this does is it takes away the panic of the, oh my God, what am I going to do? So the first thing to do is it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's so easy. And this is the point, because if we start having long faluted sort of, techniques, you can't function like. So we start off with 5 things that you can see. So basically it's sitting there and going, guys, this is going to take 3 minutes. So I've got 3 minutes to occupy my brain, and then it's all going to start being cool again. So tell your child, and this is quite cool, teenager or 4-year-old, it doesn't matter, or a 44-year-old, for goodness sake. So 5 things that you can see, and that's not hard. And then 4 things that you can touch. And this is a great exercise if you're struggling in an exam hall. You can just sort of just calm down and, okay, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to run out. I'm going to sit here. So 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, and then 3 things that you can hear. And it could even be the blood pumping through your ears. But the thing is to realize, oh, okay, this is cool, it's slowing down. But it could be the school bell, it could be the birds, it could be whatever, but just 3 things that you can hear. And then 2 things that you can smell. And this is just using all the senses. And it's a little exercise for you to just sort of start doing, okay, because when you're doing this, you're not thinking, oh my God, it's just helping you calm down. And finally, 1 thing that you can taste. So we're using the sight, the touch, the auditory, the hearing, We're then using the sensory, the smell, and then we're using taste. And by that time, what's happening is you're just sort of, you have given your monkey mind something to think about. And you've given your monkey mind something that stops, where it'll stop panicking and go, okay, well, after this, I can do something. But okay, she's given me this. Okay, right, I'm just going to get on with it. And so, and that's, you know, it starts creatively as well. It sort of starts the juices flowing rather than focusing on the main problem at hand. So that is a fabulous way of just occupying the mind and just helping you calm down.
That is a wonderful suggestion. Thank you. And I'm going to add that after in the notes, so that I was writing notes as you're talking, but
I've got a handout, Jennifer, so I can send that to you.
Oh, that's wonderful. So those watching the video can download that after. And so you can, you don't have to worry about frantically writing like I was to try and get everything. Now you had mentioned another.
We've got a handout.
Yeah, you had mentioned.
Yeah, there's another one. This is so easy, and it's sort of it's one that I often do. Well, it's called box breathing, and I was going to mention it later, but I've got something else in mind for you guys. So so as far as box breathing is concerned, this is all about as I was saying, the breath, and it is so simple that the thing is, if you don't know what you don't know. So bearing in mind that breathing is so important to calm the reptilian brain, that's the first bit that develops. Don't get too nerdy, Kai. And think of a box. And okay, well, this isn't a box, but it's, think of a four-sided shape, whatever it is. And what I want you to do is to breathe in for 4. Okay? And then breathe out for 4. And then breathe in for 4. And then breathe out for 4.
Oh, that feels better.
And it's basically it's rinse and repeat. It's no mistake that they do this. They do deep breathing in yoga, so let's join the dots here. But what it's doing is it's just telling the mind, we've got this. You're absolutely fine. And so you can you can even just before you're going to do, I don't know, go on stage at school, or even public speaking in the corporate world, or whatever it is, it's just a way of breathing in for 4 and out for 4, and in for 4 and out for 4. It helps with anger, it helps with anxiety, it helps with most negative emotions, in fairness. I was at a funeral, and I was struggling, and I thought, come on, Kai, you know how to deal with this. And box breathing, because it just says to your mind, I'm back in control. And that's what we need. And it's a non-verbal way of telling your brain, we've got this. So
right. And
5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and box breathing is that's a great start.
That's wonderful. And both of those things you can do anywhere at any time, sitting on a bus, in a classroom, at home, wherever you are. So I love those are 2 pretty simple, and I would imagine the more you do them, the easier they get, and it takes you even less time.
Yeah. It's anything like these exercises, anything. It's a bit like when you're, sort of practicing the piano. If you want to do Beethoven's whatever symphony, you don't suddenly sit down and start playing. You have to do your scales, you have to practice. In order to be a concert pianist, you need to practice hard, a bit like sort of football, a bit like hockey. Whatever you're doing, you need to practice. And likewise with these exercises. So as soon as I say to myself box breathing, now I can feel everything go, because my body knows what's about to happen, and everything just slows down. So yeah, the more you practice, the faster it impacts. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Now, this is just a couple tools that you help teens and parents through in your coaching. Was there something? Oh, we were going to talk about your app.
Yes.
Talk about that, because I really want to give parents a really good overview of what you do. Like, if they first of all get the book, right?
Totally.
But can you talk to us about your app, and then I'll provide links after the video as well, how you can connect with Kai and the kind of coaching that Kai does. So, but the app is something I'd like you to just explain to us. What?
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge generalization to say parents do the reading and kids do the technology. But my view is my mission is to support parents specifically, because no self-respecting teenager is going to look for a 54-year-old woman that's going to help them online. I get it. But once someone's found me, I want to give them as many opportunities to get the information that they can. I've got a YouTube channel, which is, I think it's probably got about 70 or 80 videos, all of which supporting parents and teens. But my app is free as well. And that has, I think it's got the 54321 on it. So actually, guys can go and download that. The app is free. It has it helps you gain access to wherever I am on social media, but it has blog posts as well. It has a load of information to download. I think there's about 15 to 20 different exercises to help you with self-esteem, to help you with confidence, bullying, cyberbullying, anxiety, depression, and it gives you these sort of techniques that that have an impact within minutes. Because when someone's struggling, they don't want to sit down and sort of say, well, you'll start getting the effects of your exercise in 5 weeks. I mean, no, that we need to help people within 5 minutes, and that's what this app does. It's free to download, and it's the same name as the book. It's called the Teen Toolbox. So that's available wherever you download your apps. So that is sort of available for you as well. And then also, I'm just developing a suite of courses as well. One on anxiety, one on confidence. They should be about end of April, beginning of May, as long as the gremlins keep on doing their stuff, behind the scenes. And I'm also doing a flagship course for parents, which I will, once it's up and running, I shall sort of notify your readers and followers as well, Jennifer. So yeah.
That is wonderful. And I like that you highlighted that we all learn a little bit of different ways, so that you have your app, you have your hard copy of your book, you have your courses, your coaching. I know you do in-person coaching, but you do a lot of online coaching as well, because you can really
I do Skype. Yeah, I do a lot of Skype calls online. And my it's probably not a very good business model, but my so the way I operate is, if I see a young person, I invariably sort of speak to sort of them. And I plan not to see them more than twice. It's usually just for one session, because I don't want to be their comfort blanket. I don't want to be their safety net. I want to give them a tool so they go away with whatever they have come to me for, be it anxiety or confidence or whatever, and for them to go, oh my gosh, now I know how to deal with this. And do you know what? That gives them the confidence to go, I tried that out. I wonder if I can try this out. And it gives them the confidence to know that actually they can do it themselves. And it's just not fair to keep, sort of doing, oh, well, I shall see you for 1 hour a week for the next 5 weeks. It's just, So I do Skype calls, which probably usually last about an hour.
That's wonderful. And I can't wait for your courses to come out. So I'm going to provide all the links after, how you can connect with Kai in any of those ways. And I hope you come back and speak to us another time, Kai, because you are, you've got so many great suggestions. And I love that you were able to give us 2 that we can use right now, today, this moment. And then just being aware, that there are options. You don't have to live with this anxiety. And I like your message, and you are very down to earth. I feel like I can very much connect with you. I think that's why we've connected so well, is that you come at this whole parenting teens world in a really non-judgmental way too. And I love that. You're very honest and straightforward, but that you do it in a way that we can all feel good and have really valuable tools. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. And I'm going to make sure that everyone watching has ways to find you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Thanks, Kai. We'll see you again. Goodbye.
Thank you.